Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to Lion Voice, because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here, hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
But you probably, heard the exploited word Windrush.
Yes, yes.
Generation,
It's in the last couple of years that word has come to the forefront,
Yeah, yes, because if you look, all those that start after the World War II and came here to the UK from 1948 up to 1972, they're considered the Windrush generation.
Okay.
What do you have to tell the people about Ras Tafari?
Light to the world. The king of kings and the conquering line of the tribe of Judah. I left himself. Where's rightful ruler? Hey yo! Yeah. Hear them high, hear the black king on the 23rd of July. So tell them guy who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time them a try. Them Romans know them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi, they stole my people. Then them comes without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill. The lion will come conquer Judah tribe.
Who?
Go to tribulation, and I strive, see sufferation, and I still rise. That's why we tell them in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come to tell them in a Toronto, straight at it.
So, what was give us a visual picture of London in the mid-70s. What was that like?
Well, London in the mid-70s, you have to remember, you probably, heard the exploited word Windrush.
Yes, yes.
Generation,
It's in the last couple of years that word has come to the forefront,
Yeah, yes, because if you look, all those that start after the World War II and came here to the UK from 1948 up to 1972, they're considered the Windrush generation.
Okay.
Now, when you look at my generation, I really never know whether to classify myself as first generation or second generation, because I wasn't born here.
Okay.
So I always classify myself as first generation.
Yes,
like,
yes.
As even though like my parents, they were older, but I see myself as part of that first generation.
Yes.
And so it would have been my generation that really sort of shook up the educational system, in turn, particularly in areas like London, Birmingham, Leeds, Bradford, where you had large concentrations of African Caribbean people.
Okay.
But in London in particular, because the education system was not really prepared to meet our needs at the time. But what I found is that, they tried to cope with whatever syllabus they had.
Yes.
But the issues in London generally which became very poignant, was when you had the exodus of that generation leaving school.
Yes.
Going onto the labor market, particularly the young black males.
Yes.
Who, when the discrimination, etc., in terms of the type of employment. And then obviously, a lot of them came out to a thing we call the sus laws. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
I'm not familiar. Please explain. So, and my viewers, we're very curious. So please, don't feel like you're talking too much. Explain everything.
Yeah. You find, like, particularly the boys, that generation that came out of secondary school, very much found themselves in conflict with law enforcement.
Yes.
And that's when the sus law became an issue, because at that time, a police officer only had to suspect that you've done something. Can you remember that generation would not have been aware?
Yes.
A group could be standing, congregating, just being boys. The next thing they used to do is find themselves in police cells.
So they criminalized coming together.
Yeah, in police
Yeah.
cells. And I knew, like, at the time, when I looked at London at that time, in communities where we live, we very much all knew each other.
Yes.
And so I found I spent quite a bit of time going in and out of police stations.
Okay.
The parents asked me to go in and find out what's happening to their sons.
Oh, wow.
A lot of them used to complain about being beaten awfully. And
Wow.
and this went on for quite a period. And what a lot of people don't realize is that the 1981 Brixton riots was a culmination of it.
Okay, because the people had enough.
Yeah, that was a culmination of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of what was the music like? Because I grew up in Toronto. There's a heavy Caribbean influence, but Jamaicans are on the top of that totem pole in terms of the culture. We kind of dominate the other islands in the culture in Toronto, where I grew up. And I've heard that London is very similar. When I hear even today, the young people talk, it's a lot of Jamaican patois in the slang, What was the music like? What were you listening to in the 70s in this, was it a Black Power time? What was the energy?
I would say it would have been the same as in Toronto, because if you look statistically in the UK, Jamaican music did dominate, as well as calypso music.
Okay.
I would, say that the Jamaican music at that time would have been more dominant. I mean, the calypso, you'd hear 1 and 2 calypso. It's not, I think the carnival has actually put the calypso and soca music on the map, but
yes.
in the UK, but I would say yes, predominantly reggae music. And the same artists that were coming out of Jamaica at that time, your Burning Spears, you name it, the
yes.
Yeah.
And that was one of the big tour stops, the UK. London especially was one of the big stops where all of those artists would come. Bob Marley was there for a time. Did you ever get to see Bob Marley live?
No, I personally didn't get to see him live, but my late husband, Wulde Mahidin,
yes,
he knew Bob Marley. He was one of the people that sort of looked after Bob within the community himself.
Okay.
A couple of brothers at the time, because I think at that time people like Claudine Massop and them were here in the UK.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I don't even know that part of the history.
yeah.
So take us to your college days. You're coming into this Rastafari fullness. How does the link with the community grow, or how does that happen?
I suppose I was driven towards the law, seeing what was going on within our community, and nothing's worse than when people don't know their rights in an environment where you can't help yourself. So I was very much driven, and I would say that would have been going on to college and higher education. That was my main focus at the time. And then I did a postgraduate in the same field, but I wanted to focus on poverty and the law.
Yes.
That's where, you know, I wanted to focus on that because I felt very much at the time where our community was, having that understanding and being able to weave through the challenges that was in front of us. But I would say, because of my passion and my community, you know, I started to work in certain institutions, but I think after a couple of years, I became kind of me being me. I really wanted to be in something that I was passionate about.
Yes, yes.
You know, and I really felt I want to work in my own community.
Okay.
Well, great is the Almighty, and greatly to be praised in the city of Haile Selassie I, the mountain of His holiness.
Yeah, from Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, you know, the whole entire continent.
Beautiful for situation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion, from Accra to Addis Ababa.
Yes, beautiful continent, better control, mama.
Very beautiful.
From Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, I smile for Mama.
I hear you call Mama Africa. Been so long since I see Mama. Father of Africa set the law. The lion come and dismantle Babylon flaw. We gonna use solar energy, use sanitation to build the ecology. We utilizing green technology. We hailing Haile Selassie first without apology. And then we build the youth them economy. We dismantle Babylon monopoly. We teach the youth them how to live properly. Tell them make sure them got the title for them property.
Yes, this beautiful continent, better control, mama. Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, I smile for Mama.
I love you, Mama, your heart never harden. I wanna turn all your slums into garden. I wanna stop all of your youths from starving. I wanna stop all of your tribes from warring. So much to say, so many feelings. We've both been hurt, we both need healing. Since the League of Nations you've been appealing. You stand up against them backdoor dealing. I hear you call Mama Africa. Been so long since I see Mama. Father of Africa set the law. The lion come and dismantle Babylon flaw. Then I hear you call Mama Africa. Been so long in America. Father of Africa set the law. The lion come and dismantle Babylon flaw.
So be still, all enemies of Jah. Know that He is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the Lion Conqueror. And it was said of Ethiopia, the highest himself shall establish her. His Majesty was born there.
And I know that I love you so. There's no place that I'd rather go. Tired of walking through slush and snow. Repatriation, that's a must I know.
Yes.